Alright, I guess I gotta talk about this now because it's gotten far out of hand. So, if you didn't know, recently, I think just yesterday, a new policy went into place on YouTube where if they view you as under 18, you will have to submit some kind of verification of your age to them to prove that you are in fact not under the age of 18 and can continue using YouTube as you once were. Now, they done this in a way that made it look like it was for the safety of children. And I think it's no surprise to anybody that that wasn't what it was truly about. And now that only a day has gone by since this thing has actually started, I've already felt the ripple effects personally because of course I don't just have this channel, I have two others, and while luckily this channel is not yet affected, one of my other ones was, and it was unfortunately the one that I made the most content on currently, and it was my gaming channel, Chaos Co. And while, yes, I am under the age of 18, don't get me wrong, I am the target audience for the people they're quote unquote trying to protect. I don't feel very much safer on the platform. And I don't feel like they're trying to protect us because they feel it's right and they feel we can't protect ourselves, which, first of all, if you don't have the kind of control over yourself that doesn't cause you to look at things on the internet that they're trying to protect you from, that's kind of your fault. But that's a different story for a different day. But as somebody who has been trying to make content on YouTube, even though I am under the age of 18, that doesn't mean that I should instantly get a lot more stripped away from me than even what being under the age of 18 would before. Now, I'm going to be honest, I lied about my age to create this account, but that was many years ago, and I've tried to update it to my actual accurate age of, well, 15 now, but 16 in a couple of weeks, so that I can then be actually monetized if I ever reach that threshold, which unfortunately it does look like that will never happen on this channel, which is completely fine. I have several others. But whenever Chaos Co got hit with the strike, and this, I haven't actually confirmed whether or not it's true, or I can't confirm whether or not it's true, but there have been too many rumors that being under the age of 18 will remove any avenue you had to monetization. This is the biggest problem for me. Because sure, collecting people's information is inherently wrong. That is one of the biggest parts of this new terms of service against my personal beliefs, but against my personal actions in my day-to-day life. It just harms me in every way, shape, or form. Even as somebody who, yes, I once got on this platform through dubious means, have now went back and tried to right that wrong. And now I've been almost going perfectly fine with it for a good while now. I've been... Sure, I still have the history of having once lied about my age, but I still was eligible for everything, at least as far as I'm aware. But now, being under the age of 18 takes away more than it did before. As someone who has not only this channel that was once marked as over 18 and is now marked as under, but also has multiple other YouTube accounts, whether they're other channels or other accounts I use for personal use or for use with my friends, doing some funny stuff on there. Just playing around, having fun. We have a shared Google account just so we can easily upload things to each other because of the Discord file size limit. But even things like that, where I said from the get-go, hey, I'm 13 years old, or whenever I created it, probably more around 14 or 15, I saw basically the same amount of rights on the platform as I did with Wonder and Wisdom before I set it back down to my accurate age. So basically being a kid on YouTube used to mean nothing. And now, even after some of these changes have taken place, I know I said Chaosco has already gotten flagged, and since, well, I am a minor, I can't really do anything to fight it. I have noticed that there are a lot less rights than even Wonder and Wisdom and my one other channel that I'm trying to start up right now called Failing Forward. They both were put as my accurate age, and they both had a very decent amount of privileges on the platform until yesterday, when all of that seemed to be stripped. My content viewership was restricted, and all around it was a much worse situation I was in than the day before. It's crazy how a company can ruin everything overnight. So now I'm kind of stuck in this in between. I still want to do YouTube. I still want to be a performer. That's always been kind of my calling. I've really enjoyed making videos on Wonder and Wisdom, on Chaosco, and now on Failing Forward. And Failing Forward is just in its infancy, and same with Chaosco. And now it doesn't look like I'll ever be able to see those things to the end, at least not in the same way I expected. So, before Failing Forward gets its first major campaign, because it is, of course, my D&D channel, I'm going to have to seriously consider whether YouTube is the right platform to put them on. I know it's going to be a lot harder putting them on any other platform, but it's just the way it kind of has to be, because there's really no other avenue. Because even though technically as somebody under the age of 18 on YouTube, you could have once gotten monetized, now you can no longer, even if you go through the proper ways that you could have once gotten monetized through. And that's kind of dystopian, because while yes, I understand the idea of protecting children from the internet, trust me, I had good parents, which seems like this new act acts like there are none of anymore. With my parents even being the way they were and being really good at parenting me and keeping me off of the internet for the longest time, I still weaseled my way in. I got YouTube before they ever knew I did. They found out because, of course, I was a kid. I wasn't perfect at hiding it, although I did get away with it for at least a couple of months. But I'm just saying, if YouTube is going to try and act like they're stepping in as the parent in this situation, just like I did so many years ago and how thousands of other kids have since then and before then, we'll still find a way. And whether that be to move to a new platform that's more friendly towards up-and-coming creators in a younger medium, which is entirely a thing that I think people forget, that this is something that I'm trying to build, and many people are trying to build, for a future, not just for now. It's hard to make a coherent thought on this matter, because it's just so idiotic. Whenever you look at something, and I try my best to put in a fully formed sentence in this video, but you could just hear me stumbling through my words because I can't wrap my head around just what is happening, because it makes no logical sense. That's all I'll really say. So, for the time being, I'm going to try to keep going forward, but, you know, Wonder and Wisdom has been silent for a while, and it probably will be relatively silent going forward, because I don't even know if it's worth posting on YouTube anymore, if there is no avenue to monetization that is realistically followable as somebody under the age of 18. And that's the side of it that nobody's talking about. One of the sides of it that really needs to be looked at more than people really think. So, with that, I thank you all for watching. I would typically here ask you to like and subscribe, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter anymore. I'll see you guys later.